Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever part of the world you're in. You get the idea. We're going to do this every time now. Welcome back. It's boogie time, part 2 of our new series. My goodness, so thank you so much for tuning in last week. Our first in the series was quite a successful little video, so thumbs up. Let's keep that one going. Actually, talking of thumbs up, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you like it and hit the subscribe button. We're getting close to 50,000 subscribers here on the channel. We've got about 250 to go at the time of recording, so you know what to do. Who'd have thought that a channel talking about organ music and Ratty Tatty Piano Boogie music would amass 50,000 subscribers? Well, we're almost there, so you know what to do. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us 4 times a week. My goodness, it's amazing. Thursdays is Boogie Day. Friday night is Organ Music Night, live, 2200 hours Central European Time. Sunday night is Organ Music Night, live, same time, 2200 hours. And then on Tuesdays, we're going to start a new series called Hymn of the Week. That's hymn with an N, with a Y and an N. We're going to start looking at some old sort of church music classics, and I'm going to talk about them and improvise around them, and we're going to have some fun with them. So I hope that's something you'd be interested in. Check it out, even if you're not interested in that kind of music. Check it out, because you might be. You just didn't know. So Thursdays, boogie. Friday, organ live. Sunday, organ live. Tuesday, more organ music. My goodness me. We're going to do a live concert from the Ratty Tatty Old Piano once a month on Thursdays. We haven't decided which Thursday yet, but we're going to do a live one and have some fun with that. So I do hope you will join us for that. My goodness, lots to do, lots to talk about. Right, Boogie Woogie, where does it come from? Boogie Woogie is a blues-based piano music form. The history of Boogie Woogie itself, well, it goes back a very long time. It goes back to the dark and distant past of American music. So we're talking post-slavery kind of stuff here, pretty politically incorrect stuff nowadays, but it's all part of history. We'll go into that in more detail in the future, but it's basically, it sort of evolved into a piano-based style, and it features a very heavy left-hand pattern, a rhythmic left-hand pattern, and of course the right hand then embellishes that with blues licks and fancy techniques. And over the years, Boogie Woogie evolved into rock and roll piano. Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire, and all that kind of stuff. Rest in peace, Jerry Lee Lewis. He died not that long ago. My goodness, he was one of the pioneers of rock and roll. What an amazing guy he would have been to have met. Sadly, never got the chance. And then, of course, it evolved into all sorts of other music that takes us into modern day styles, believe it or not. But we'll be looking at that over the course of the next few weeks and months. So today, we're going to talk about some basic left-hand styles. Now, if you check through some of my old videos, I'll put some links up. I started a series a couple of years ago when, remember what happened a couple of years ago? Anyway, looking at how to build your own boogie. And we looked at some basic styles and some ideas there. So I'm going to repeat some of that, but go and check out the old videos and see what you think. There's going to be something in there for everyone. I also did some of those videos in the German language as well. So if you're interested in watching this in German or learning your German, then go and check that out. Why German? I've been in Germany now for 23 years. Good God. Amazing. So here we are. So let's have a look at some of these left-hand styles. Now, we're going to stick to the key of C, obviously, C major. A lot of boogie things are in C major. It's just easy to play on the piano. I personally like playing Boogie Woogie in all 12 major keys and sometimes in all 12 minor keys too. It's good fun. We can look at that in the future as well if you're interested. Let me know in the comments below. And so we're going to stick to C for now. It's the sort of standard Boogie Woogie piano key. And everything is based around the 5th between C and G. Okay, we're talking 12-bar blues, so we're going to have the chords of C, the chords of F, the chords of G. So that would be C and G, the 5th, F and C, and then G and D. Okay? So whether it's the simple, whether it's that simple one, which just goes between the 5th and then one note next to it, the 6th, same on F, or on G. Okay, whether it's doing that, it's a very simple style based on the 5th moving around there. And if you use finger 1, your thumb, on that 5th or next note, then that's going to be the driving force. Okay, so you're going to be driving with the thumb. That's going to be on the beat. On. Okay, so that's all on the beat. And then here on the F, that's all on the beat. G. And then back to C. Okay, so you're battering away at those keys with your thumb. And then if you're using a little finger, you can use the little finger. I tend to use finger 4 because it's a bit more powerful. Actually, I'm using fingers 4 and 3 together to get some real power down there on the bass note, okay? And that's sort of in between the notes. And then we have the choice. We can have straight style. So straight means on da 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 da. The 8th notes, the sort of the building blocks of that rhythm are straight, ta 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 ta, or we can swing them, ta 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 ta, turn them into sort of da 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 da, triplety styles, okay? So we've got straight, which sounds a bit more rock and rolly, or we've got the sort of swing version, the bluesier. And that sounds a bit dirtier, and that's the way we like it. So there we are. So there's one of the basic styles, okay? Very basic styles. Now, if we don't want to accentuate our thumb all the time, we can, of course, have a style that accentuates our little finger, and that would be the... No, that's the same thing again, isn't it? So we've got to find a... So, and that is more of the Chicago-style boogie. Now, that's a very difficult feature. We're going to look at that one day in great detail. I've got a camera recording all this from above, so I'm hoping you'll be able to copy some of the things I'm doing over time. But we'll look at that one in the near future as well. Then there's the really complicated one, the walking octaves. Now, these are where you play your C down there, you play a C an octave higher, and then we're going to sort of walk up the major 6th chord. So we've got a C, an E, a G, an A. So we've had the A from this one, remember that? And we've got this E in the middle. So a C major chord, C, E, G, and then add the A to it. Ooh, this piano's all out of tune and fruity, but we like it, don't we? So we've got C, E, G, A, okay? And we have those in octaves. And then we can go up to the top C and back down again. Okay? Now, if you've been watching films like Kill Bill over the years, you will recognize these kinds of movements. Whoops, and so on and so on. Now, that mistake there was deliberate. That was the 7th. But we don't use the major 7th. We always use the minor 7th of those keys. So let's use that one. Ooh, that's desperately out of tune. Ah, how's that sound now? And so on and so on. Isn't that cool? I think, ooh, a note has definitely gone down there. This old piano is so ratty, it holds its tuning for about 10 minutes, and then everything just gets all loose and flabby again. Anyway, so those are some of the sort of left-hand styles that we're going to be concentrating on over the next few weeks. And I do hope you will be joining me in learning how to do this yourselves. Now, this is all very fast, I know. So what we're going to do, today, we're just going to slow down and play a piece of boogie woogie music where I'm going to use all of those different left-hand styles. And then in the next coming weeks, we're going to break that down and look at it in more detail. I hope that's all right with you. If there's any particular kind of boogie woogie style that you're interested in, let me know in the comments below, and I will make sure to include it. I very much look forward to that. Well, I think that's enough talk. Time for some music. So today we're going to have another piece of boogie woogie music. Now, last week's boogie was a very simple, relatively slow boogie in a relatively straight style. So today we're going to jazz it up a bit. We're going to get some heavy blues style going. So we'll have that kind of bass. We'll have the Chicago bass, and we'll have the walking bass as well. Now, I forgot to show you that, didn't I? Let me just show you that quickly before we go. You can play the notes together, finger 5 and finger 1, or you can split them. But then the heavy beat is this time your little finger. Okay? That's the one that's on the beat this time. So you've got to be careful. Sometimes your thumb is on the beat, sometimes your little finger is on the beat. This is getting confusing now, isn't it? We've got some work to do. Join us in the next few weeks. All right, folks, thanks very much for putting up with me chatting all the time. Let's get into some music. Time for today's boogie. of today's boogie, the sticky key boogie. Seriously, to get some work done on this piano. Are you interested in watching me work on the piano? See if we can get the keys working again. Or do you think it's worth it? Should we invest in a new piano at some point? Let me know. That's a seriously ratty tatty piano today. See you next time, folks.